everybody, welcome back to our channel, kaviwebdesigns. Today we're going to be continuing with the JavaScript course. Previously we have learned about JavaScript iterables. Today we're going to learn about JavaScript sets and JavaScript set methods. A JavaScript set is a collection of unique values. Each value can only occur once in a set. The values can be any type, primitive values or objects. So you may ask how to create a set. You can create a JavaScript set by passing an array to a new set, or creating an empty set and use add to add values. The new set method. Pass an array to the new set constructor. So as considered here, we declared a variable called letters and given it the value of a set. And we have used the new set constructor over here, where we have written set over here and then passed in an array. So JavaScript will convert this into a set. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So as you can see in this example over here, we have a new set and then we are displaying the size of this set over here. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see over here, it will say that this set has 3 values. And that is also true as because there are only 3 values over here. But over here, why are we writing size and not length? As because for sets, you cannot use length. We have to use size. So if you use length, it will give an error. So as you can see when I'm typing in length, as you can see there's nothing like that. So the size is the correct thing to use for sets. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Create a set and add values. So as you can see in this example over here we have created an empty set and then we are adding values to it. So as you can see, this set over here doesn't currently have any values. But over here we're adding values to it. We're writing letters dot add A and B and C. So as you can see, these 3 will be added to the set. So now let's look at this using Visual Studio Code. So as you can see in this example over here we're creating a new set called letters and we are adding values to it. We're adding A, B and C. And as you can see over here, we're displaying the size of it. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will give it as 3 values as because we are adding on values to it, as because we are adding new values to this empty set. So look at what happens when I put it before this, before adding values to the set. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will say the set has 0 values. But why is that? We are adding values over here. Shouldn't it say 3? Wrong, as because over here JavaScript goes in an order. So this will execute first, then this will execute, and then it will add the items in there. So when this executes, it goes to this set and measures how many it has. Since it has zeros, then it will display 0 over here. But if we revert it back to its original place, and now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will say 3. As because now here we are adding it first and then we're displaying the set size. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Create a set and add variables. So as you can see over here, we have an empty set. Then we are creating variables using the const keyword. Const A equals A and B equals B and C equals C. And these are all strings. And then we are adding variables to those to the set over here. So letters that add A, B and C. So as you can see over here, we are adding variables to this set instead of strings or numbers. So let's look at this example too. So as you can see over here in this example, we are declaring 3 variables A, B and C and assigning them string A, string B and string C. And then over here we're adding those variables to this set over here and we're displaying the size. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will say 3 values. But we can access this over here by just saying set letters.a or letters.letters1. So now as you can see over here, it's coming 3. But what happens if we don't write size and just write letters? So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will say object set. As because if we just write letters over here, it will say object set. So we have to write something like letter.size to display its size or loop it. So now if you revert it back, as you can see, it's saying the set has 3 values. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. The add method. So as you can see over here, here's an example of using the add method. Letters.add D and letters.add E. we are adding D and E to the set over here, to the set. So let's look at that too. So as you can see over here, we have our letters variable, and over here we have our set. We have 3 items in there, A, B and C. And as you can see over here, we're adding 2 new elements to it, D and E. And then now we're displaying the size. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will come as 5. But if we place it in front, and now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will say 3 values. As because this will be first executed and then this. So let's revert the changes back. So as you can see over here, when we revert it back and run it, it will display 5. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. If you add equal elements, only the first will be saved. So as you can see over here, in this example, we're adding A, B, and then a multiple of C's. So this will only take the first one as because they are duplicates of C's. So now let's look at this example too. So as you can see over here we have the example from the PPT where we are adding a bunch of values to this set over here. And as you can see over here, C is duplicate. So and as you can see over here, we're displaying the size of the set. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see over here, it will say 3 values. But why is that? Shouldn't we display all of these? So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should display 8, right? Wrong, as because there are duplicates of this C over here. So JavaScript will only think that is until this over here. So this will result in the same. And even if there's one extra over here, and now when we run this in Chrome, as you can see, it will only give 3 values. As because there is a duplicate of C, and JavaScript will not care about duplicates. So now let's revert this back. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Sets are objects. Type of returns object, and instance of set returns true. So as you can see, if you write type of letters, it will return as object, and if you write instance of set, then it will return true. So let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So now as you can see over here we are creating a new set over here, and we are giving it 3 items, A, B and C. And then over here we are displaying type of letters, which is a variable containing this set. So as you can see, type of letters. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will say the type of the set is object. And that is true as because sets fall in the subclass in the class of objects and they are not primitive values. So now let's look at the second example of using instance of. As you can see over here, we have a same set, and over here we're writing letters instance of set. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will give true as because letters over here is a set. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. So we're going to go in our second topic about JavaScript set methods. The first method is the hash method. The hash method returns true if a specified value exists in a set. So as you can see in this example over here, we're creating a set and giving it some values, giving it some items A, B and C, and then we have declared another variable called answer and given it the value of letter hash D. So we're giving it a question and asking if this set over here has the item D in it. So now let's look at this example. So as you can see in this example over here, we have our set called letters, and now we are writing over here letters dot hash D. So now when we run this using Chrome, since our set over here doesn't have D, it will give false over here. But if you write something like C and now run this, as you can see, it will give true as because there is C in here. And over here, this hash over here uses strict comparison. So if you write something over here such as 1 and add string 1 over here, and now when we run this using Chrome, it will say false, and vice versa. If you write string 1 over here and just write 1 over here, it will also give false. But if there's 1 over here and 1 over here, and now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will give true. So as you can see over here, this hash over here uses strict comparison. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Our second method is the forEach method. The forEach method invokes a function for each set element. So as you can see over here, we have declared a variable called letters and given it the value of a new set. There's 3 items in there, A, B and C. And as you can see over here, we are listing all the entries. So we have declared a variable called text, and over here we're writing letters dot for each. And then we're writing a function, we're writing a function, and we are writing a argument to it, which is value. And now here we're writing text plus equals value, and so every time this function is invoked, it will run this over here. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So as you can see over here we have the example from the PPT. As you can see over here, now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see it will write A, B, C, which are all three of the string, which are all 3 of the set's items. So this is how we display a set, by writing letters dot for each and then a function and value and text plus equals value plus a BR tag. So this is how we display a set. So we can mess around with this set and write different values and all. So as you can see over here, you may ask what is invoking this function over here, and that is this for each over here. For each every single element over here, this will invoke this function and give the parameter over here as over here. So this is what is adding to text over here. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. So our third method is the values method. The values method returns an iterator object with the values in a set. So as you can see over here, first we have created a set called letters, and then we are getting all the values of this set by writing const myIterator equals letters dot values, and then over here we are listing all the values. So let text equals an empty string, and and as you can see over here we're using a for of. So as you can see over here, we're writing const entry of myIterator. So as you can see over here, we're declaring a variable called entry and giving it the value of myIterator one by one. And as you can see over here, we're writing text plus equals entry. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So as you can see in this example over here, this is the example from the PPT. So if you run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will display the items in the set. But you may ask over here, what is happening to the variable x? So now let's look at this using the console.log method. So now when we run this using Chrome and press inspect and go to the console, as you can see, it is writing ABC. And as you can see over here also we have ABCD, ABC. So the value of x is all of these items over here. Slowly the values are changing. So if you write something else, then the value of x will be finally D. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. The keys method. The keys method returns an iterator object with the values in a set. Note, a set has no keys, so keys returns the same as values. This makes sets compatible with maps. So as you can see over here, here's an example of using the keys method. So as you can see over here, we have our set letters, and over here we're using, it's pretty much the same. As you can see over here, it's pretty much the same as the values method over here. So we can use the values method or the keys method. But over here, the keys method makes it compatible for maps. So as you can see over here, we're writing we have declared a variable called const, we have declared a variable called myIterator and given it the value of letters.keys. And then we are listing all the elements using a for of loop. So let's look at this example too. So as you can see over here, this example is pretty much same to the previous example over here. But over here, instead of using dot value, we're using dot keys. So as you can see over here, we have a for of loop where we have declared a variable called x and given it the value of, and we have declared a variable called x, and we're slowly putting each of the values of myIterator into this into this variable over here. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see here, we'll get our desired result. And you may ask, what is happening to x? And that is very simple. All of these items over here, right, they're coming to x over here. And I can even confirm this by writing console.log. So now when we run this using Chrome and inspect and go to the console, as you can see, it's coming A, B, C. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Now we have a final method, which is the entries method. The entries method returns an iterator with value pairs from a set. Note, the entries method is supposed to return a key value pair from an object. A set has no keys, so the entries method returns value. This makes sets compatible with maps, as because maps also return like this. So now let's look at the example of using the entries method. So as you can see, here's an example. So first we are creating a new set, and over here we're getting all the entries of this set over here. So we have over here, to do that, we are declaring a variable called myIterator, and then over here we return letters.entries. So you may recognize this as similar to the keys method and the value method. Yeah, as you know, this is also the same as keys and values methods, but these make it compatible with maps. And as you can see over here, we're using the same for loop to list all the entries. So now let's look at this example. So as you can see in this example over here, we have created a new set, and over here we declare a variable called iterator and given it the value of letter.entries. As you can see over here, we're using a for loop to list all the entries. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, we'll get A, E, B, B, C, C. So as you can see over here it is coming 2 times, as because this entries over here is making it compatible with maps. And since maps have key value pairs, that's why it's returning as A, B, B, and C, C. So let's see what will happen to entry over here. So we can write that by using console.log. So console.log and the entry. So now when we run this using Chrome and press inspect and go to the console, as you can see, it's coming as array2, array2, array2. As because over here the entries method is kind of confusing in JavaScript, so it will return run. It will not be as what we expected. So folks, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to support us, please like, share, subscribe to our channel, kaviwebdesigns. Keep on watching our videos, show some love, and have a nice day.